Alrighty, welcome back. I am excited to introduce you today to the V-School panel. For those who do not know, V-School is a tech education boot camp teaching industry celebrated curriculum and has been since inception in 2013. The school offers lessons in coding, UX and UI design, experience design, data science, big data, machine learning, project management, as well as other sought after skills. V-School is amazing because they help their students build the super transcript. So I'm going to introduce our panel. First up is our moderator, Mo Rita. So of course, give us a big round of applause as I introduce each of these wonderful individuals. Mo is a husband, a drummer, an ally, and a father to 3 rowdy boys in Salt Lake City, Utah. He's co-founder and COO at V-School, where he leads and supports global efforts around social impact and business development. He launched V-School's philanthropic arm, the Digital Family, so anyone possessing the aptitude and grit can afford to fund an education that leads to an amazing career in tech. Mo has 15 years experience in disruptive education. Love it. Next up is Grant Wilhelm. He's the head of veterans at V-School. Grant was raised around the world with a military family. Upon completion of his BS from the University of North Florida, Grant enlisted into the U.S. Air Force, working on the electronics of the F-35 Lightning II fighter jet. As part of his transition back into the civilian sector, Grant enrolled into V-School's full-stack JavaScript web development course. He has been an instructor with V-School since the beginning of 2019 and now heads V-School's veteran department. And our final person on this panel is Gabe, is it Marchant?
Yes, Marchant, correct.
Excellent. Okay, with a little bit of flair there. So he's a U.S. Air Force veteran and success mentor at V-School. After separating from the military, Gabe found himself without direction for the first time. Like many veterans, he struggled with his transition to a civilian career. That all changed when he found V-School, which gave him direction through its boot camp and community of support, both of which spoke to his passion of servant leadership. Grant became a success mentor for V-School and is now on a mission to help other students find direction and a successful career in tech. This is a rock star lineup, people. Please join me in welcoming the crew from V-School. Take it away, Mo.
Thank you. I appreciate that. My goodness. So I'm also, let me make sure I'm off mute and all that. I'm also the son of a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force, and my 2 younger brothers are also Air Force pilots. So it's a privilege and an honor to be talking to 2 OGs, from the branch of service that I grew up in, traveling all across the world as a kid. And so, yeah, honored and appreciate everything that Meritorious does. I know Catherine and Ryan don't always get the shout out because they're always hosting these things, but throw those emojis up there right now for Catherine and Ryan, who, in my humble opinion, are running the most, I think, thoughtful and the highest class, best in class veteran network out there. So this is a privilege for us. I have a 2-part question. This is for both you, Gabe and Grant. What do you find most difficult about transition from the military? And how did you overcome that challenge?
Grant, do you want to go first or you want me to go?
Yeah, I'll grab it. Because I'm sure we have different stories, but for me, getting out of the Air Force was difficult. It happened very suddenly, and I didn't really know where to go or what to do. They try and set you up for success when you get out of the military and whatever branch you're in, but it just it just checks the boxes, kind of pencil whips it, if you will. So for me, the difficulty was really that direction and that guidance towards, this is how you write a resume, and you might get these questions in an interview. And then as far as, just venturing down that path and into tech, V-School really provided that guide for that, as far as, giving me that skill set that I was in need of, and then helping me utilize that skill set to, get into the career field and, have those skills that I needed to interview.
Yeah, kind of similar to you. You have that tap thing you go through where they kind of start getting you thinking about your career. And as we are as military folks, we always like to feel like we're buttoned up. We have everything figured out. you know, everyone like I like the quote from Mike Tyson. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. So when you get punched in the mouth and reality hits you, then you really got to figure it out, right? So for the first time in our lives, we don't necessarily have a mission. And so it's all about finding that mission. And that's really where V School came into play for me in my life. And so they gave me a mission and a direction. And I think that's a really big thing for people, especially when you don't have that mission. And so, yeah.
And to add on to that quick, Gabe, like so you're both techie. Like, yeah, you didn't know how to code or design just yet, right? Like V School was that bridge to take you from military life into civilian life. And that bridge needs to be there. But you're working on, I mean, Grant, you're on the F-22, and Gabe, you're a weather forecaster, correct? So there's a lot of tech that goes into, right? Like forecasting the weather. And how did those skills translate into a civilian life of tech?
Yeah, so like similar to just as far as like tech, I had 5 screens. I had satellites, radar. I was talking to pilots on the phone, you know, keeping them updated on weather. So yes, I'm familiar with tech, but what I think the biggest skill was the team, building that team and learning how to work in teams, especially when it comes to tech. They work on agile teams and they do things very quickly and efficiently. And so they translated in a way that I was very well adept to working on a team. And I feel like when I work on teams, those skills play out.
Got it. All right, thanks for that. Let's stick with Gabe for 1 second. This question's for you. So how did you personally find V School after this? And how does V School specifically help veterans like yourself reskill and retrain and then actually land that job?
Yeah, so for me, I went to the age-old Google, right? So you Google it up and you say, you know, boot camps, but then you say, oh wait, I got this awesome GI Bill, boot camps, GI Bill, enter, boom, all these things, and then one of them was V School. So then what's the second thing you do? Of course, you go to the reviews. So you check your reviews out, and then all of a sudden you read about this V School. Amazing community, all this good stuff, and you're like, all right, we got to at least give it a shot. So you give it a shot, and you start talking to people like Grant. Grant will tell you, hey man, come check this thing out. We got a real good thing going, and I'll really let him speak on it. But essentially, the community and the people that were surrounding me as I was trying to make this decision were really helping me and giving me good information that I really needed to make that next step.
All right, cool. So Grant, that's you. What's the admission process like at V School? And like, what are the next steps if someone is interested in a career in tech?
Yeah, definitely. So speaking specifically to veterans, V School does take GI Bill, vocation rehabilitation, 1606, pretty much anything. If you have access to it through the VA, we will accept it or work to accept it. So that's where you and I would start as a veteran. I'd walk you through that process, give you a step-by-step of, hey, you need to go to this website, you need to get this form, take a screenshot of it, send it to me. You need to go to this website, fill out this form, screenshot it, send it to me. As best as I can to help you navigate that VA system as what a cumbersome beast it is, I will do that with you. From there, it's the main prerequisite is a pre-course project. And that pre-course project is really just getting everybody on the same level and playing field, so that, we're not looking for you to swing a home run and hit the ball out of the park. We're just looking for you to be able to, get to the plate and swing at the ball. And what that really entails is, just a basic understanding of HTML, CSS, and a little bit of understanding of JavaScript. And again, in that process, it's not something that I'm like, hey, here's this, go for it, good luck. It's something where I'm proactively meeting with you at least twice a week is generally my standard. Happy to do more as always, but we're in this together, and I'm here to guide you through that process to get you into V School.
Love that. It's not common. I've worked for a lot of schools. I mean, it's my background, right? Like I come from education, been doing this for about 20 years. It's not common to put the mentors and the smartest guys up front. Like usually access to mentors and getting that feedback happens once you're, in the program or once you graduate or something rather. Like we put our resources up front. So even if it's not a fit for you, Grant's saying he's going to talk to you. We're going to walk you through your personal plan. And I think that's special. I think that's a difference. Not to toot our own horn, but let's be honest. I mean, people need real feedback. They deserve real feedback. And we're on this call now with all these amazing veterans, right?
Mo, can I speak to that for a sec? So one thing that I really love, because I'm a V School alumni as well. I went through the program as a UX design student. And one thing that was really great for me is how V School sets you up with a team. You get a TA that's going to work with you every day and check on your progress and help you with any blockers. You get an SSM, which is what I do, and that helps you on the career side of things. You get an instructor. And then we got our leaders, Mo and Zaro. They lead a Friday talk where they'll speak directly to the students and ask you if you have any questions. And they're always open for questions. They'll talk with you. And these are the guys that run the company. So if the guys that run the company are wanting to hear questions from their students, what do you think the whole community is doing? We're taking care of our people. And that's what really attracted me and really grabbed me into V School. And now I work for them. So obviously I liked it.
Thanks, Dave. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're only strong because we do solicit feedback for good and bad, right? Like, all the things that we decide not to do, is because we're talking to people and the user all the time. So we're definitely not cocky. We know that the best feedback comes from people that are going through the process, and that's feedback's a gift. So that's the way we kind of see things. Well, I want to be, mindful and of everybody's time, right? So we're just at about the hour mark. I want to ask one more question, similar to the question that was posed earlier when Catherine asked our friends at Amazon and GitHub. If you could go back in time, so your younger self, what would you tell your younger self that's just transitioning from military to civilian life? What's that nugget of knowledge that you would tell your younger self, Grant?
Yeah, for me, it's really simple. The preparation you thought was enough was not enough. Keep preparing. Don't stop preparing for that journey out of the military, because that journey it's everlasting. It's not, you're never going to find somebody giving you an order again. Like, that's not going to happen. So just preparing yourself beyond the level of preparedness that I thought I needed to be at, that's what I would go back and tell myself for sure.
Awesome. Solid nugget of gold. Gabe?
I would have to say that one thing I heard that was by getting, you can make a living. You can make a living getting things, but you can make a life by giving. So don't be afraid to give more than you get.
Wow. That's powerful. That's the real deal. So talk to us, talk to Gabe, talk to Grant. We've got 2 tables out there to network and to talk to people and kind of share information and give more than we get. And of course a veteran would say that, right? Like, let's be honest, like, veterans, this entire community online, thank you for your service and for all that you give and have given. And V School just wants to give back as well. So thank you, Catherine. Appreciate the opportunity to chat with everybody.
Oh, the pleasure's all mine. Thank you, gentlemen, for giving your pearls of wisdom. As we can see, the emojis are coming in hot, so keep them coming. Big round of applause to our V School panel. I'm a huge, this is why they're here today. This isn't favoritism. It's because their work speaks louder than words, and they are a trustworthy organization. I stumbled upon them, and it is my distinct pleasure to support what they do here today. So again, thank you for attending. We'll see you back at the tables. Again, those are hosted by Amazon, DoorDash, GitHub, GhostSite, Idea Cloud, Interactive Resources, Invictus, Pro Vets, Stampede, Veterans Women Entrepreneur Center, V School, and of course we have our event next Tuesday, August 10th. So whether you like Bitcoin, crypto, or blockchain, you should be there because we'll have some great networking. And there's different audiences that are going to be speaking over 4 different sessions. Pretty cool. So thanks again to V School. Thanks to everyone for joining. We'll see you back in the lobby for networking.